Hi everyone, it's Peebs. I guess I'm gonna stick to this YouTube thing. I don't necessarily have a strict plan for my channel. I'm pretty much just gonna upload whatever I want, because I'm evil. Anyway, for future videos, I'm thinking about showing my process for my animatics, maybe record some of the progress for my next one. Also do physical and digital speed paints as well. I'm just not used to talking. Maybe I'll sprinkle an animation meme or two in there if any strike my fancy. I am also open to suggestions, so if there's anything that y'all want to see, maybe like challenges or something, I could do them maybe. Perhaps, if I'm feeling funky fresh. Moving on. Welcome to the video! I've been doing these drawings in my spare time where I draw freshwater fish with my acrylic markers. They're the grabby? I think it's grabby, but I always say graby in my head, and it reminds me of Lucas Grabeel, or Grabby, I think it's Grabeel, from High School Musical, who plays Sharpay's brother, obviously. And also this is not sponsored, lol, but I like to use the acrylic markers because I love using acrylic markers. I love how opaque they are. I love the colors. I love everything about them. I use them a lot in my sketchbooks when I'm feeling like I have art block. It helps to like kind of switch up my mediums a bit, especially when I feel like I've worn out my brain in trying to figure out what to draw like traditionally, and so I'll usually just switch up and grab my acrylic markers and go from there. Just play around, but I like to do the fish because I think that there's a lot of fish that have really cool colors. It started with the salmon, a red sockeye salmon, because the red is just probably one of my favorite types of red out there. It's so vibrant and so, I don't know, it just looks good and I like it. So that's kind of what drew me to that. And I really do like those scientific posters that list the different fish or different butterflies or whatever. I love how those look. So that's kind of where I got my inspiration from as well. But I've done a sockeye salmon, river, and ocean form. The red one is the river form, and then the blue one is their ocean form because they migrate. Very interesting stuff. A rainbow trout, a grayling, a catfish, and now this one that I'm doing for this video is a bluegill. I chose to do a bluegill for this one because when I was younger, I used to fish with my grandpa and sometimes my neighbors in the retention pool down the street. I remember my little pink fishing pole I got from Bass Pro Shop, and like I would get this bait that looked like these little pink sparkly marshmallows, and I wanted to eat it so bad, but I didn't because it was fish bait, but I was like, oh my god, this is so girly pop of me, but I was really into fishing for a spell, but now you can't get me near a fish. It's a joke between my girlfriend and I that I'm scared of fish, because I don't want them nibbling on my toes, okay? I get scared that they're gonna do that when we're in the lake, and I don't like it. I don't want them on my toes. Is that so much to ask? Anyway. Let's get into the actual process. So how I start is I sketch out the fish from my reference. You can't see my computer screen, but I have a reference pulled up. But I sketch out the fish with my red pencil, and then I erase it. And then I go in with a very very light green, yellow, I think it's like a light yellow, but I like to put down a base just to block out the shape. And then I move forward with blocking out the colors with the yellow on the bottom and then the blue and green on top. And as I do that, I'm kind of adding in, I like to start with the bottom, the belly of the fish. I don't know why, but that's how I've done it for all the other ones I've done. I've always started with the belly first because, again, you can always layer on top of bright colors. But then I go and I kind of imitate the scales with an orange and then a red, and I kind of like, it gets a little muddy here because my markers are, I think, stained from my previous drawings. Oopsies, don't mix your markers, besties. But then I go in with a red, and then I go in with the green on top to kind of block out that color. But now I'm going in with a darker green, and I'm kind of adding in those scale shapes again. This one has a lot more scaly, like a scaly texture than my other fish. The other fish I've done have been more smooth, but the bluegill, it's got very interesting coloration to me, where you can kind of see the like green and yellow peeking out from underneath the bluish scales, but it's more like a really dark green. I just went blue because I like how the blues look. And then here I'm going over it with just darker blues. This one I think is the turquoise, and then I'm going with the deep ocean blue that I have. I love a deep blue. I love a deep blue, and I love a blue-orange color combo. I just think it looks very nice. Not like the Chicago Bears blue-orange, and then, I don't know, I just like how it looks. And then here I go in, essentially undoing all of the work that I just did I was trying to like match the color. Yeah, you can see I go in with my finger. I tried to match the colors, and I was like, oh, it seems like a little lighter. And I was like, let me just go over it with these light colors as I'm going over, completely covering, not realizing that it was going to be as opaque as it was, completely covering all of the work I just did. And there I go again, adding some more color on top, just blocking it out. All of that work is gone, and I think I realized that here, and I'm like, oh, son of a gun. And then I'm going back and doing it all over again. But I do think that it adds some, like, layer and some interesting colors here and there. But I'm going back in with that dark blue, just adding in that scale shape, just kind of following the form of the fish, and then I go in with the darker blue again on the top. I'm not used to narrating videos, but I'm watching it back myself. Okay, and then I go in with that teal, and then I think now I move on to, I'm just adding in some splashes of green throughout and kind of blending that underbelly with the top, because it's slightly blended in the reference I have. Just adding some shine, some lighter colors, working on the lips. Fish have such weird lips, I think. And it had like a little bit of adding a little bit of the white there, and now I'm moving on to the fins, where I'm just going in with a light blue first, because the fins have like a lighter blue base color that kind of transitions darker with the little, I don't know what they're called, the little spiky things. Let me look it up. Okay. They're blood vessels and bones, fun fact. But I'm going in now with the super light green that I have, and just kind of, it's not even a green, it's more whitish, but it's like a tinted white almost. I'm going in there and adding in some value to the fins, and then I'm going with a darker blue, working on those veins and bones that they are apparently. But I'm just kind of emphasizing those shapes and adding in some more lines just to add some character to the fins. I do like doing the fins, although I struggle a lot with the coloration of the fins, and I've noticed this with my other ones. They're just, like on the salmon, it's very muddy green, and these are so bright, it's hard to get that muddier color, which is fine. I really do like the brightness of the acrylic markers, but it's hard to kind of match, in my opinion. It's hard to make these colors muddy because they're so opaque. And then I'm going back in with that white as I'm working on the pectoral fin. No, the pectoral fin is what's on their back? I don't know. Comment below, what is a pectoral fin? I probably should know this. But I'm working on the lips, the fishy lips. Yeah, now I'm working on the eye. looking good. I also really love this coral red. It's such a good red. And I love the contrast of the orange red eye against the blue-green body. It just looks so good to me. I'm just kind of outlining it with a darker brown just to emphasize it and adding in some highlights. And now I'm going in with my dark blue Posca pen to outline the outside because I love a thick blue outline. I just think it looks so good. I don't care if people disagree with me. I just love the aesthetic of the blue outline. I think it really adds a lot of character and depth to the drawing. I'm tired, guys. I'm sleepy. I'm working on the eye again. I'm just kind of blacking out that shape. I kind of messed up with the outlining a couple times here and there, but it's fine. We're just gonna pretend that I didn't. But I'm adding in some colors with my other Posca pen set, just adding in some highlights and some different spots of color to add to the scales. I go in with my red, yellow, and then the dark blue again, and then I go in with my white gel pen to add some little shines. And I wish I stopped there because I think the iris was too wet still, and now it just got all muddy. But yeah, and that's my bluegill. I hope you all enjoyed my process, even though it was kind of rambly. I didn't really script out the actual drawing part. I should have. I really should have, but it's fine. You live and you learn. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want more videos from me, hit that subscribe button and give me a like. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky. My Twitter is at Peebs with 1 S and 3 Z's. My Instagram is just Peebs with an S and 1 Z. And then my Blue Sky is the same as my Instagram. I also have an Etsy store where you can get some cute stickers. I've been working on Pokemon stickers, specifically Evolution stickers. I've got the Kanto starters as well. So if you want some of those, go check that out. But yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you all. Bye.